What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and today I'm going to be showing you everything that you need to know to get the best loan terms possible. So I'm going to dive into negotiating with different loan officers and different banks and credit unions and everything else so that you can set yourself up perfectly with your loan terms, with your down payment, with all of that good stuff. So with that being said, let's jump into it. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Chandler Smith, and I've been investing in real estate for the last 6+ years. I currently own over 100 doors of rental real estate as of this week because I just closed on a 32-plex. And today I'm going to be sharing with you some things I've learned after going through dozens of loans when it comes to finding the right financing and making sure that you're getting the right terms on your loan. And it's kind of a sad deal because I have worked dozens of loans and a lot of them have had incredible terms. I've worked with some incredible people and I've really gotten comfortable in finding the right banks or credit unions or people to connect with so that I do get those good terms. But unfortunately, this last loan I went through was actually pretty painful and I made some big mistakes when finding the right loan. And so I want to share with you guys some of those mistakes that I made and the things that I learned so that when you're trying to find your first loan or your fifth loan, or heck, even if your 20th loan, you find the right terms and the right situation. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is there is a big difference between getting a loan for 4 units or less or 5 units or more. And the big difference is that you're dealing with either a personal loan or a commercial loan. Now, a couple things you need to know about personal loans. The reason personal loans are the best is you can usually get a 30-year fixed loan with a 25% down, or even a lower down if you end up living in it, or if you find the right bank to connect with that's willing to work with you as an investor. So you get this fixed rate, it's for 30 years, it's gonna make your cash flow look incredible, and that's why I absolutely love those loans. However, if you're wanting to buy bigger units, there are a lot of advantages that come with purchasing bigger units, and that's when you start moving into commercial loans. Also, if you use up 10 of your personal loans, you can't get any more loans, unless of course you're married like I am, and then you can get another 10 through your wife. But if you used up all 20, or you're in a situation where it's more than 4 units, you've got to go into a commercial loan. And this advice is going to work for both situations. However, on the commercial loan, I was a little less educated than I should have been on this last deal that I did, and so I kind of had to learn the hard way. So just to fill you in on the mistake I made with this commercial loan, I was working on a 32-plex that I just closed on, so you know it all worked out. But what happened is I had a couple banks I was shopping at. Now, I had one bank that told me they could give me a 25% down, which I was happy with, at a 4% locked interest rate. Now, what happened is I got into a situation where the deal for them didn't look as strong as they wanted it to because my rents were only at $500 on every one of these units. I know I'm going to get them to $800, but the deal looks like crap when they're at $500. So is it a risky deal? Some might say it is, but I know the market, I know where I can get them, and I thought I could convince the bank the same. The problem was the deal was not strong enough for them with how old the property was. So they came back to me and they said, Chandler, we're going to need you to do 30% down. Now, on a property this big, that's over $100,000 more, which for me was a major gut punch. And for you, regardless of your financial situation, an extra 5% on your down payment is going to be a gut punch for anyone. The problem with when they told me this was it was way late in the process. As a matter of fact, we were supposed to close it was 10 days. I had 10 days to close when they told me they weren't going to be able to come through with the terms that they'd originally told me they thought they'd be able to. So now I'm scrambling, I'm calling other banks, I'm figuring all this stuff out, and I got in a situation where even though I had competed with banks early on, I didn't get it in writing, and I ended up in a situation where I was in trouble because I hadn't gone through the process with all of these other banks. So my advice to you, whether you're doing a personal financing or whether you're doing commercial financing, you need to get a relationship with multiple banks. And I would tell you, you even need to hone in on one bank that you keep your money with, because a lot of times they care about deposits. They care that you've got money in their bank, and then they're willing to work with you. Even though you have deposits, the bank is still probably going to be willing to work you over unless you've got competition involved. Once I've gotten competition involved, when it comes to my personal loans, I got a relationship with a loan officer that is the bomb. He's awesome. I know he always comes in on the lowest rates and terms for me, and maybe I should shop if I was lacking trust in him, but he's been incredible, and from when I originally shopped, he's always come in lower than everyone else. So I haven't had a need to go and get him to compete. But when it comes to the commercial loan, I found out really quick that there's a lot more than just one person involved that's working for you. There are a lot of people that are looking at the deal and either approving it or denying it, and so you've got to get some serious leverage when doing these deals. And what leverage means is early on, I tell all of the banks, look, I don't want you to pull my credit right now. Okay? I want you to assume that my credit is this, and I want you to tell me for sure what you can give me on this property. I bring it forward and I say, I want it in paper. I want to know for sure, or I want it on paper. I want to know for sure that you're going to be able to come through with these terms when we get to the end. And I think that was the big mistake I made with this last deal, is I didn't get it locked in. We talked about it. I got a verbal commitment, but I didn't get it on paper, and so later in the process, I got shut down. Now, without pulling credit, you are going to have a hard time getting something on paper because they haven't gone through the whole deal. They haven't gone through the process. And so the mistake that I made is, one, I should have tried to get it on paper, but when I couldn't get it on paper early, what they were willing to offer me, I should have still had 2 to 3 banks working on the loan. I should have said, look, let's find an appraiser that works for all of you. Let's continue to get you to compete until one of you can tell me for sure where your rates and your terms are coming in, so that I know it's locked in and I don't have to worry about it. And had I done this, then when we get to the point where we're 10 days before close, they can't back out, or if they do back out, I've got someone else in my pocket ready to jump on it and ready to roll on the loan. So with all of that being said, my advice to you is make sure that you shop out a lot of banks early on. Once you've shopped them out, do everything you can to get their offers on paper. Make sure that they've had the opportunity to look at the deal and to look at your finances, and do everything you can to get them to wait to pull your credit till they absolutely have to. If you can get the rates and terms locked in before they pull their credit, that is awesome. And just tell them, look, lock them in for me as long as you know my credit's going to be above 720, because usually that's the benchmark they're looking for. And if you know your credit's above that, then you know that it's going to be good, whatever they put on paper. Now, if you can't get it locked in before, then have at least 2, your top 2 that have made verbal commitments to you, pull your credit and see where they come in at, because you need someone in your back pocket to where if your best lender can't pull through with the terms, that you can go to your other lender, or you at least have someone that you can say, look, they're willing to do this for me, you need to at least match it. That way you don't get into a situation where you're 10 days before closing, you have a very touchy seller, and you only have one bank working for you. I know there are a lot of you that might be wondering, well, Chandler, how did you pull your financing together? Did you end up doing crap terms? Did you end up in a crap situation? And I'm not going to go into details, but what I will tell you is they did not call my bluff. All right. And I wasn't dishonest. I did have a commitment from another bank, but there's no way in heck this other bank was going to be able to close by the time I needed to close to get this deal to go through. However, I was able to get an offer from them on paper, even though they were probably 45 days out from closing. I was able to take it to the other bank and get them to come down to what I needed. And I will tell you right now, on this huge property that I purchased for $2.1 million, I was able to get them on an interest rate at 3.85, which they said was the best one they have ever given out at the bank that I ended up going with, and we're going to be able to close on time. Use these tricks that I've told you. Make sure that you understand that it is a negotiation, especially as you get into the commercial loans. Also, make sure that you find a bank that's been good to you, and that's where you keep your deposits so you can begin to build up rapport and hopefully continue to use them for all of your loans, because then you're going to be able to know the time frame you can close on, and they're going to be willing to do more for you, especially when you have competition, because you already have that relationship with them. And so as you apply these principles, you're going to be able to hit a home run with the rate and the terms that you work out on your next deal. All that I ask you to do is go out and find a killer deal, get killer financing on it, and remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can catch my future videos, because my goal is to help you to create a huge passive income for yourself. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.